Alright, apologize. This is a finicky system. I'll get a better one. But anyway, this is going to be part 3. Because I only have 10-minute video capacities on this rinky-dink system. So here we go.
You're down. Over the obstacle. As smooth as a snake through buttermilk. Now you're home free, and all you gotta do is apply the juice and move out smartly. Speaking of moving out smartly, let's go back to the Baron and Hans in today's feature.
Hans, move on with courage and caution are crying out loud. Faster, Hans, faster! When we get home, I will be a hero!
But Herr Baron, I don't think that... Exciting, ain't it? Looks like our boys should have kept their eyes peeled for rocks. Now, let's just look at this sample lesson on driving your tracked vehicle over rocky terrain. It's simple when you know how. First of all, try to avoid rocky areas if you can, because they can really cut up the rubber on track shoes. If you gotta drive over rocky terrain, going too fast will throw rocks up and get them in your tracks, which can bend or break the center guides, maybe causing a thrown track or a damaged suspension. So if you have to drive over rocky terrain, what would you do as driver to keep this from happening? Just think your answer. That's it. Just slow her down and take it easy. It's for your own good. Well, let's see how things are going in our action-packed movie.
To the hills, onward and upward.
Onward and upward, onward and upward. Never a rest, never a take 5, never a smoke 'em if you got 'em.
To the right. Oops, it's straight, Hans, straight. Yahoo!
Good to have you back. I know this movie's got you sitting on the edge of your chair. Now, my dog Spot and me, we figure you won't make the same mistake as them guys when you're driving on a hillside. Now, you're going to have to make some constant corrections to avoid downhill drift. That's the natural tendency to be pulled down because of the angle of the slope. But be sure you keep those corrections small. Take a look at these here pictures. Choose the one that shows the way you would drive on a side slope and write its letter down. Well, you're all right if you picked A, because driving a straight course on side slopes is the safest way. A straight course lets you maintain the best control. And remember, don't make any sharp turns. Making abrupt changes of direction can cause you to lose traction, slide down, and maybe overturn. Would you never make any changes of direction? Well, you have to sometimes. Why don't you all just fill in the words missing in this statement of how you would avoid drifting? You have to make small, constant corrections to avoid that downhill drift, okay? Now let's get back to our feature and see how them fellers are doing.
We must get back on course. With my quick, superior mind, I will direct you how to get over this little bitty hill. Estimate we have no more than a 60% upward slope, and we can make that easily. Now to pick a gear that will allow us to start from a dead stop and climb the hill. I'd say use high gear.
But Herr Baron, high gear?
Don't argue with genius, Private. I said high gear.
Jawohl, Herr Baron. Here we go.
Don't cough!
Howdy, folks. Well, they did it again. when driving up a steep slope, you gotta maintain a straight course and use low gear. Higher gears just don't give you the torque you need to pull that track up the hill. And if you use higher gears, not only will you not make it up the slope, you'll also damage the transmission and the engine. So, when you're driving up a steep slope, you gotta maintain traction. And what do you think you gotta do to hang on to that traction when you're driving up a steep slope? Write your answer. You gotta drive a straight course and use low gear. Now, you use the same techniques for getting down steep hills as you did for getting up. Just to make sure you got it, which of these pictures shows a correct procedure for driving downhill? C is the correct one because it's got a straight course and no sharp turns. A isn't straight, and you could lose control of the vehicle with all those sharp angles in B. Now, there's another thing you need to look at, correct gear selection for going down hills. Is the gear shift on this tank in the proper position for driving downhill? Right, yes or no? That's right. Going up or coming down, use low gear. Now, you also need something when going down hills to keep you from going too fast. What do you figure that is? Just think your answer. Sure enough, your brakes. If you start to go too fast, apply the brakes as needed. That's what they put them on there for. You sure should be an expert on driving track vehicles by this time. Got a little quiz coming up next so as you can check yourself out. Be sure you write down the number that will be appearing in the upper left corner here. That's to help you keep track of the questions. You ready? Okay, here we go. This M60A1 is coming up on a ditch. Fill in the blanks with the words describing the correct procedure for crossing a ditch. Okay, now fill in the words to complete these steps in getting out of that ditch. Whew, that's the ditch, but how's this M551 going to climb this obstacle? Again, just fill in the missing words. And to complete climbing it, what words are missing in these last two steps? Should you increase or reduce your speed when you're traveling across a rocky area in a tracked vehicle? Okay, when you're driving a tracked vehicle on a side slope, what do you need to do? Fill in the missing words. And now add the word that says what kind of course you should maintain in a situation like this. Complete these statements on how you drive a tracked vehicle up a steep hill. How about these statements on how you drive down a steep hill? Shoot, I reckon you didn't have no trouble with that little old test. But just to make sure, let's check you out on the answers. This is the answer to number 1. You enter that ditch slowly in low gear and then slowly move to the far bank. Match your answer and then press proceed. Number 2 is simple, right? You increase your power to climb out of the ditch. Then, as your vehicle pitches forward, you reduce it. Finally, you increase your power again to move out. Do your answers match these? To climb that obstacle, you approach it slowly in low gear, then increase your power to climb it. Check your answers to number 3 and then go on. Number 4 is real easy if you knew your stuff. When that vehicle pitches forward, reduce your power, then increase it to move out.